And what we want to do now is we want to create and sign a charter to allow this account, the Celine legal firm, to pay its team members with Flexup equity, with credits and tokens. Since this is what we call flexible payments, flexible payment structure, flexible commitments, we need to create a charter in order to allow this. And you can read more about what the Flexup charter means. You can go directly to the charter section here, or you can click on this button, which brings you to the charter. This allows you to create a charter. And we strongly encourage you to read the wiki to fully understand what this means. You can also go on our Flexup documentation, where, of course, we have a lot of data, a lot of information about what it means to sign a charter. So we assume that you've read all this documentation, you're fully aware of what it means. You can go on the Flexup.org website, and we have some resources. So you can read about the Flexup economic model. This is a presentation you can download. Our brand book tells you a little bit about the spirit of Flexup and what it means. And if you want to access the resources, you need to log in, right? So it's important to log in to the Flexup.org website, which is different from the Flexup.app business management tool. The business app is on Flexup.app, but our information website is on Flexup.org. That's where you can download a lot of document templates, including the charter. You can read a little bit about it, and then you can download the general conditions, and you can read that. It's quite a long document, but this contains a complete and full description of how the Flexup economic model works. So when you sign a charter, you're going to be basically managing your project according to the rules defined in the Flexup charter general conditions, and the Flexup charter special conditions is the document that you actually fill in and sign. Okay. So you will see that the app is going to fill this in automatically. So you don't have to worry about it. But if you want to understand how the contracts are automatically generated by the app, you can download the templates. So any contract in Flexup is a sandwich where you can have different layers. The bottom layer is the general conditions, and the top layer is the special condition. And in between, we sometimes have additional conditions. You can see that in the investment contract, where we have special conditions for the USA for specific type of investment contracts. This allows the Flexup legal framework to be both universal and also modular, where you can adapt it to local legislations and specific context. So with all of this in mind, let's create a charter, and you'll see it's actually very simple. We just have to say, what is the project? So make sure you're in the right account. If you're in the individual account, you cannot create a charter. So you either create a new account for your project, or you have to go to another account. So in this case, we are in the legal firm account, and that's where we're going to create the charter. This is a way of saying that this legal firm, this account, will be managed according to the guidelines and the rules and the principles of the Flexup charter, which is this 67-page document. So who's going to be the secretary? Well, okay, maybe you can say Celine is the secretary, or maybe you want Flexup to be helping you with your administrative work. So we're going to look up Flexup and add Flexup as a third party. So let's add a new third party. A third party is any other account that you want to do business with, right? So either you search for an existing account, or you create a new one, or you send your correspondent an invitation link, or you can ask your correspondent for their global ID and add it directly from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for Flexup, and you can see that Flexup was easy to find. This is the information about Flexup. Okay. Now, this, of course, is all fake data because we're in the sandbox. When you create your real account, you will find Flexup and you will see the real data about Flexup. Okay. So now that I have Flexup as a third party in my third party's local directory, I can go back here and I can create my charter and I can add Flexup as a secretary, right? So if you want to understand what the secretary does and what it means, you can go here and look up some of the explanation, or you can download the full charter and then you will get much more detailed information. But basically the secretary is the person who will help you with all the administrative tasks and paperwork relating to managing your project under the charter. You can have your lawyers, you can have your accountants to manage basically all the conventional administrative aspects, or you can also delegate some to Flexup, but we are not a law firm and we are not an accounting firm. But for some of the Flexup specific administrative tasks and general advisory services, you can designate us as a secretary. So what is the scope of this legal firm? Well, there's no need to provide any information. So when did the project start? Well, let's say that the project started on the same day as the account. So let's say that the Flexup project was started on the same date as the legal entity creation date. So that's when the project started. The charter, I'm creating the charter today. I'm actually updating it today. And the first financial year, when we do the accounting, should be about 1 year after the project start date. So this seems a bit too much. I'm going to say that the first financial year was the end of 2020. Okay. Now the tokens in a Flexup project, a token is more or less something similar to a stock or a share in a company. So it has an index. It has a token. You could call it a price, but it's an index because it's not necessarily a price. And by default, all the Flexup projects have an initial index of 10, and they increase annually by a factor of 25% for when it's a high risk startup. But this is a established law firm, low risk. So we're going to put a 10% annual increase on the token index. This means that people who join the firm early take more risk. And so they basically get their tokens at a lower price, and the token price increases annually. And people who join the firm later, the token index will be higher. So when they're remunerated for their risk, they will be getting fewer tokens. So can this firm issue stock? And again, some of these issues need a bit of explanations to fully understand, and you can always refer to the tooltips and to the question mark to learn more about it. This video is supposed to be a high-level tutorial. So we're going to assume that this firm can issue stock, and in the future, some of this stock may be converted into shares, action ordinaire, right? Common stock. What does this mean? It means that in the future, the legal firm may do a proper capital increase. And in that case, all the Flexup associates that have tokens, they can exchange 1 token per 1 stock. Or maybe you can say, well, it's 10 tokens per stock, but let's just keep it simple. 1 token per stock. So it means that from an economic point of view, 1 stock is basically the same as 1 share, because in the future you can convert your stocks into shares, but you don't have to do all the paperwork of actually issuing shares at the beginning. You can just issue tokens, and the tokens give your associate the contractual right to obtain shares in the future when you do a share increase. So you get a very solid legal framework to actually get your shares in the future. And you also get all the financial benefits and even some voting rights in the meantime. So the project can operate several years without actually issuing the stocks. And that's the flexibility that the Flexus system gives you. So if you want to deviate from the general conditions, you can add exceptions, you can add extensions, you can modify some parameters. You can see here that everything in yellow is a parameter. So, you know, how many counselors do you want to have? Is it 5 or 7 or 3? You can put any value you want. And in that case, you just go into your charter and you add parameters. So you can say, let's just do as an example, Article 8.1a, council members, 7. All right, let's just do that. All right. Article 8.1.a, maximum number of councillors is 7 instead of 5, right? Let's just do that, okay? This is an example. So now I've created my draft. Can I sign it? Yes, I can sign it because I've provided all the information required. I can make a last minute edit. If you're not making any exceptions and extensions, just keep it blank. Don't write none, just leave it blank, okay? And now I can download my charter. I want to review it. Oops. Okay, so let's download the charter. I just signed it. So you can see now the charter with the signature date. And as you can see, when you download the charter, you see that it's completely clean. In blue, you have the data that's been added by the app, and in green you have the selected options when you have different selections. So you can see that the project is the Celine Legal Law Firm, and this is a legal entity. This is the legal identification, the full description of what is the holder. The holder is the legal person owning the project. In this case, the legal firm is itself both the project and the owner. So it's a single project holder. The holder is only doing this project and nothing else. And it's represented by Celine. The secretary is Flexup. It started on the 1st of January 2021. And these are the token prices. And the token conversion is allowed. And these are the details. And yeah, we forgot to put the parameters. But if there were parameters, we would see them here. You can just download it and sign it. That's it. So the charter is signed by the project representative alone. It's not a contract signed between 2 parties. It's basically a commitment signed by the project holder saying that they will manage their project according to the rules of Flexup. And any other associate just joins the project by agreeing to the terms of the charter, okay? So now let's go back to the dashboard and see where we are. So we have created the charter